Hello, this is a presentation about the Ku Klux Klan by Jasmine Liu, Kimberly Perez, and Tony No. Some background information about the KKK is that it originated on December 24, 1865. The KKK was full of white supremacists and they aimed at newly freed black men through intimidation and violence. They also attacked Jews, immigrants, gays, and lesbians, and Catholics. They also had violent acts like lynching, tar and featherings, rape, and other violent acts.
All right, so the problem is that current age KKK factions have been beginning to uh, start violence and tension amongst the whole community or the United States, and this seems to be a problem that Trump had created because after his election, a lot of people have begun having white supremacy movements.
All right, this leads to mass incarceration because the KKK, their actions enable people to discriminate more people racially, and communities with many KKK members are more disproportionately affected, and the KKK was one of the first organizations to start the actions of mass incarceration.
As you can see, the number of social networks users worldwide from 2010 to 2021 have been and also been predicted to continually increase. Compared to something like just verbally saying your ideas to one another, e-marketers statistics could help argue that using social media would help spread ideas faster. Here is one example of how using something like posters can make an impact. This poster shows Rosie the Riveter, who was an iconic figure of World War II. The picture of a female flexing represented women who worked in factories and shipyards. This image continued to encourage women to work in war-related jobs during the Second World War. In result of this image, child care centers emerged all over the country. This is significant because women have representation and it encouraged idea of women working out of their home. Therefore, women who were used to working at home were given the opportunity to earn their way through the society. An example of using social media was the hashtag #MeToo movement. This movement was against sexual harassment and sexual assault. This method was used to demonstrate a widespread prevalence of these acts, especially in the workplace. The screenshot on the right shows that women were able to have a voice by replying to the tweet. At first, this hashtag was only used by women, but as time goes on, many people from any part of the spectrum was able to have a voice and talk about what they've gone through. The results of this movement on social media was the fall of a number of powerful men. For example, Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years for sexual assault. Another result is that this hashtag gave many people a platform to talk about their struggles. Because many people spoke out about this, advocates said that an increase of financial investment is the next step in sexual assault reform. Using visuals is important because it gives the audience imagery on their ideals. For example, the image on the right with the Ku Klux Klan member acting as a ghost being crossed out appeared on a Facebook page of students that are against the KKK at University of Mississippi. Using this type of imagery would set off an idea about them that is negative. That could easily persuade the people. In addition to that, using an image that displays anti-KKK on social media would help spread the idea faster. For example, using this tweet with hashtag anti-KKK, the Ku Klux Klan does nothing but harm the society. Let's take action to help them. Would help amp up the hype to go against the racist group. This could raise awareness on how they actually are and what their impact is because it starts a new discussion amongst those on the internet. People would be able to share their ideas and is provided a platform to talk about their own beliefs. One of the goals of using social media is promoting Black Lives Matter. The KKK is against those who are black because they are white supremacists. If people are able to go against the KKK, we are able to stop discrimination against those who were and have been targeted. In addition, if this gets a lot of attention, there is a possibility that there are stricter laws for violent acts towards certain races. If the government is able to take control, this would make an impact and help decrease the KKK participation. Also, the right to vote for certain individuals would improve as Black Lives Matter is promoted. The right to vote needs protection against hysterical accusations of voter frauds, restrictions on registration, voter identification laws, and etc.
So another action plan is the teach-ins. It's like an informal discussion and it's meant to be practical, participatory, and oriented towards action. The image on the left shows a teach-in during the Vietnam War, and the second image shows a teach-in in the University of Michigan during 1965, and this spread to many other universities. The goals of teach-ins are to educate and inform those who might not know about the KKK's history and their impact on us today.
All right, so the next action plan we can implement is haunting officials, and this is basically pressuring individuals or officials by continually following and reminding them about our political goals, as well as holding public speeches at rallies where the officials actually meet, or constantly sending letters of opposition to officials. So an example of how haunting officials worked was in the Bombay government in 1928. This was when peasants would follow officials to camp out of their offices and homes to protest reducing land taxes. So a quote from the study was that when arrested, they were replaced by others until authorities were tired of the process. So that shows how the haunting officials can be effective because if we tire out the authorities then or the officials, then we can start like having more influence on their opinions and their actions. So haunting officials can be useful to our action plans because if if we implement this correctly, then we can thwart their next actions and delay any new ones that they have. And officials can be constantly reminded of the opposition's views, and this can make their plans like more delayed. So the next action plan is a sit-in. This is when people occupy a space as a form of protest. This was used during the civil rights movement as at segregated restaurants to protest for black rights and desegregation. And this was also used recently by the Democrats to fight for gun control. So the way we can implement this action plan is by gathering as many volunteers to participate in a sit-in, and we plan to gather at an important KKK meeting. And after that, after the meeting begins, we can enter like the whole space in droves to interrupt the meetings, and that can spark like resistance from the KKK, and that can also spark media to like report this, and we can make our movement more visible to the public, and also it can motivate more people to act against the KKK.
So one of the organizations that we want to partner with is called Race Forward. Their mission is to create equitable opportunities and outcomes for all, and they work to advance racial justice through media, research, and leadership development. Two ways that this can benefit us is to teach us how to use media effectively and to promote more ways to prevent discrimination against other races.
The first event in our timetable is to use Twitter and Facebook hashtags to start the conversation against the KKK. As you can see in the picture on the right, the best time to post on Facebook or any type of social media is on Sunday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. The next event is teach-ins at a community center where guest speakers come and talk about the KKK, their history, and their impact on us today. The next event is to write a lot of letters of opposition and mail them to KKK officials or members in order to get their attention about our views. The last event is to sit in at a KKK meeting with many people in order to interrupt meetings as well as get public attention from the people. These are the citations that we used to create this project.
All right, thanks for watching our video about the KKK, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and press that notification bell at the end.